We're live.
All right, folks, welcome to this week's episode of The Left, the Right, and the Absurd. So it's just the three of us today. We thought we would switch things up for you guys a little bit and try something we hadn't done very well.
Because we suck.
So we thought we'd do a little bit of video sharing. Thought some of that would be pretty interesting. You guys might enjoy it. We've got some fun videos lined up for today. We're also actually thinking, and we'll be thinking more about this since, as most of you guys can probably tell, we've had some inconsistency with people showing up. So we're thinking about holding basically interviews to see if you'd like to join.
And those people aren't going to be like, we're not getting rid of them or anything.
No, we just need some people that'll be more consistent, that can be on every episode, and they can be on whichever episode they can make it to. That way it works out for everyone. We've got more people. Maybe we'll get a few more ideologies in here. Who knows?
Yeah. So, hit us up, man.
So you guys can stop talking about how it's a leftist circle jerk, especially seeing that we're all leftists tonight.
Yeah.
Kind of ties in with our first video tonight, though, guys.
Yeah.
This is a really fun one, and we really hope you guys enjoy it.
It's gonna be fantastic.
It'll just be glorious, guys. So get ready here. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this going. Oh, crap. Did I break it?
Whoops. Figure it out.
I might have broken it. Hold on.
Well, Adam,
Here
you
we
know
go.
most about the guy, so you want to do a little short introduction as to who this is and why we're deciding to comment on it?
Said it. Hold on, what?
Like, you seem to know who this guy is more than I do.
This guy we're gonna be talking about? Rocking Mr. E. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
He's something. He's, I really don't know what to say other than he's kind of a... Just picture an MRA, or just extremely anti-feminist, cultural Marxism is the fall of the West type libertarian people, and then you have Rocking Mystery, who is like 10 times worse.
How about Scotty M in comparison?
Scotty M and Rocking Mystery are actually friends, so if that says anything.
All right, guys. We went ahead and threw captions up just so you guys can get a better understanding. If you can't exactly hear what he's saying, we're going to try as best we can. We tried to mess with it a little before we started. But
Do you want to make it full screen, see what happens?
yeah.
Alright.
Here goes nothing.
And then we'll stop whenever we feel we need to.
Alright, let's go.
Libertarian socialism is nothing but a front for communism.
I just have to stop it here.
I just fucking love
Every single person in their right mind should want to take their political advice from a douchebag showing off his guitar playing skills in an Aerosmith shirt.
I mean,
That is where I get all of my political advice.
was it just me, or was that like that guitar part really loud compared to his intro there?
Yeah,
Like, it was the audio
And
levels were.
I don't know if
way
it's just me, but it's like a weird, like it goes from like two different types of video in like a quick second. Like he's all serious and he just goes to playing guitar. It's really weird. It's really distracting.
Let's see. Oh, guys.
Also, something being a front for communism is a good thing in my opinion. So
Wait, hold on. Is that yellow and black?
Yeah, it's black and yellow. So moving on to his, as he calls it, rocking philosophy.
The left love to co-opt language, particularly definitions, often stealing terminology from the very people they seek to depose. One such example is the word libertarian. Thanks to the left, the word has become so meaningless that I hesitate to use it, even though I would technically be a libertarian in the true sense of the word. Leftists love to by calling themselves libertarian socialists, social libertarians, left libertarians, and a whole string of terms that ultimately mean the same thing: communism. The idea
Yeah, you want to stop
So-
it there? Because they were so much wrong with that.
We're 55 seconds into the video, not counting the atrocious intro, and he's already gotten a fuck ton wrong.
Yeah, now, he will, I know, I've seen this video many times before just because I needed to giggle, but to be fair, he will go on and explain the more Enlightenment era use of the word libertarian.
Okay, so he's at least aware that it's not that like Murray Rothbard didn't just invent the word libertarian, right?
Yeah.
No, he takes the idea that, as you guys will see, and this is going to explain how there's the differences between the two. That socialists aren't actually libertarians because the Enlightenment thinkers were the true libertarians when they were philosophically speaking libertarian, but the first political usage of the word was by leftists.
Yeah. But he says, just play the video. He'll go on and explain it, and
So more from Iranian Ronnie James Dio.
that leftists have anything to do with libertarianism is nothing but propaganda designed to foment ignorance. With this video, I intend to show people how and why the left is determined to make libertarianism a leftist identity, and why libertarian socialism is a leftist lie. Despite what leftists claim, the origin of the word libertarian was not during the 19th century with European socialists. In actual fact, the word originates in the 18th century with Enlightenment thinkers coining it to argue for free will over determinism. The word libertarian therefore takes its roots in metaphysics rather than politics, although by the 19th century leftists allege that it was used by socialists. In truth, they rarely, though it's doubtful that they ever, used the word, and even if they did, it never caught on to anywhere near the same extent as socialist or communist, the two terms that came to dominate left-wing identity in the 19th and 20th century. The originators
pause right there. As we just said, that it is true that libertarian came from this metaphysics type thing, and you notice, God, he pisses me off. He just said that if they used it, it never caught on, and that's not even true. It did catch on. A lot of anarchists used it, and it was used by French anarchists to what they called themselves to, so they wouldn't be caught by French police, stuff like that. They outlawed the word anarchist in anarchist newspapers and stuff. So
Wasn't it also common among Spanish anarchists too?
yeah, and around the same time, it was also being used in America by American libertarians, which were mutualists and things like that. So it was being used around the same time.
So people such as Spooner and Tucker, for example.
So this is just going to be some like video where this is like one big word game where we got to just go trace the word way back to the very first person who used it.
Yeah, he goes on to try and explain that it's more than just semantics and why, but leftists did use the word libertarian to describe themselves, and they didn't use the word libertarian socialist until the right, like people like Murray Rothbard, started using the word libertarian.
It's also quite interesting due to the for those that know the XY axis 4-quadrant political spectrum, they know that the top two are the authoritarian and the bottom two are libertarian. And the very, very bottom of that, from both left and right sides, is the most libertarian, which is a term for anarchism, like we said earlier.
Yeah.
Should we go on?
Yeah.
Interested in individual sovereignty, something that socialists have always considered subordinate to collectivism. This relates to individuals being capable of using their own labour to create property, or that individuals have a separate identity from collectives, such as the nation or tribe. Despite these contradictions, leftists still try to suggest that collectivism is libertarian, not unlike Big Brother arguing that freedom is slavery. In the end, libertarian is just a word, so it might appear pedantic to quibble over its use. However,
it doesn't appear
the
to be,
left deliberately tries to limit and
What was that?
I said no, it doesn't appear to be pedantic. It is. That's all.
Yeah, and he's using the typical shit where they just assume all socialists are collectivists. In fact, I will say that anarchism was an individualistic philosophy, and it's like political philosophy, but it also fused with collectivism to form more mutualistic.
Like, so far, like, has there been any mention, like, I know it's all been all about, like, left-wing, but is he saying that the left can't be libertarians, or only the right can be libertarians? Because that brings up questions about people like Max Stirner.
Yeah, I think he's just saying that you have to be a capitalist to be a libertarian. Or something.
Well, Max Stirner would spit in his face.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we can just end it there. I mean, Max Stirner just shit on his whole argument.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he's saying that we were talking about the original, you know.
No, again, like I don't want to take like it makes him like rearranging his words. So
yeah.
I'm also like not in the best mind right now, but so I would suggest we just continue watching the video so we can't like straw man.
It was a joke, guys. It's okay. This is just hilarious, though.
I will be shutting down voting for this video due to leftist trolls trying to sabotage. Too many words. Is that what you're talking about with trolls? People who disagree.
Alright, we're gonna get...
Go on.
It becomes impossible to adequately express oneself. This is very similar to Orwell's 1984, where
Can we just talk about the irony?
That he's quoting a socialist?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say Orwell was the best socialist ever, because he kind of wasn't. He was kind of a shit one.
Okay, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say he's quoting a socialist, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but, like, he's quoting a socialist who's critiquing, like, other types of socialists, like, it's just authoritarianism in general. So...
It's okay, guys. We'll do the Stefan Molyneux video next. About what's wrong with socialism.
Continue.
So get ready for that.
Words are gradually discarded in the hope that eventually people will find it impossible to speak or organise against Big Brother due to a limited ability to express oneself with language and thought. The present structure of the political spectrum only includes different types of socialism, meaning that there is no place for those taking a non-socialist stance. This in itself shows how the left controls society through terminology and language, as when people talk about the right, they are actually still talking about big government socialism with a less communist feel. Thus, we only need to look at our present political system to uncover the reason why leftists try to co-opt the libertarian label. By doing so, anyone that isn't a socialist is not even considered, let alone understood. We can, however, also use a historical example to demonstrate this belief.
I just have to say really quick, this guy is a cinematographer. Cinematographic genius with his utilization of color and black and white.
Like, for a second there, I thought he was going to a quote. Like, that's why I went black and white to emphasize a quote or something. But
that's another thing that gets really distracting. Like at first, I think I understand why he did it, but it's really distracting.
It just was really amazing to me. My mind was blown. Yeah. It was a work of cinematographic genius.
Subversion. Liberal, in a classical sense, always meant free markets, limited government, and the freedom of the individual to own and trade property. After World War II, the left began to use the word liberal to fool people into thinking that left-wing parties were liberal, rather than the socialists they really were. Today's modern definition of a liberal, wherever you go in the West, is nothing but a socialist, and nothing epitomises this more than the Liberal Democrats in the UK, which formed when the Social Democrats and Liberal Party merged in 1988. The Liberal Party, formerly with limited government and free market roots, also giving Britain great politicians such as Winston Churchill, was then assimilated into a socialist party that sits somewhere in the middle of Labour on the left and the right-wing socialist Tories.
Okay, stop the video.
Guys. Conservatives are libertarian capitalists. They want free markets, definitely. They don't want to regulate anything. Just stop the presses, man.
And he also called the Tories right-wing socialists.
What just happened for the past, minute?
A lot of oxymorons. I have a feeling this guy also is the same type of guy that calls Bernie Sanders a socialist.
He also called Winston Churchill a great politician. So, again, don't take political advice from douchebags and Aerosmith shirts.
So wait, there was a...
I bet you he likes Margaret Thatcher, too.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he does. I know Scotty M does.
Is there any, understanding of, the material conditions? I know that sounds like that's such a term that I'll probably use a lot, but seriously, it's acting like there's just some inherent... The ideology of socialism is inherently authoritarian and collectivist, when in reality that a lot of the places where you could say that it was tried, there was massive. I can find a quote, but I don't have the book with me right now. But it was by the anti-communist historian Deutscher, where even he mentions how awful the conditions were for example, the USSR.
They're basically still in feudalism, right?
Practically, yes. Semi-feudalism.
Like semi-feudalist capitalism?
Yeah. Hold on. I have it right here. If you can just... You can either keep the video going or keep commenting.
Yeah, just play the video and let's just have loads of fucking fun.
Repeatedly occurs because you can't compromise individualistic principles for power. Due to this subversion, classical liberals...
Oh, here we go with the cinematography again.
Alright, I found
second half of the 20th. Because liberals...
Okay, so as I was saying about his material conditions, and that's a major reason, not just behind why certain countries, quote unquote, went authoritarian, that it wasn't just some idea inherent to socialism. He says, Isaac Deutscher says, the situation in Russia at the time meant that the first and so far the only attempt to build socialism would have to be undertaken in the worst possible conditions, without the advantages of an intensive international division of labor, without the fertilizing influence of old and complex cultural traditions, in an environment of such staggering and material and cultural poverty, primitiveness, and crudity as would tend to mar up or warp the very striving for socialism. If you're like that has a greater impact on how socialism develops than any inherent idea in it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Would anyone agree or disagree?
I agree.
Okay.
So essentially, to give a sort of comparison, it would be like trying to establish a socialist movement in the shittiest slum of Detroit.
Here's another great quote. This is by just Terry Eagleton. He says, imagine a slightly crazed capitalist outfit that tried to turn a pre-modern tribe into a set of ruthlessly acquisitive, technologically sophisticated entrepreneurs speaking the jargon of public relations and free market economics, all in a surreally short period of time. Does the fact that the experiment would almost certainly prove less than dramatically successful constitute a fair condemnation of capitalism? Surely not.
Dang. And I don't know, but it's really annoying that he keeps referring to socialism as just fully collectivist system and not just saying capitalism is always individualistic. It's really annoying.
Because, you guys are both mutualists here, so,
Yeah.
I could understand how that would piss you off.
Yeah.
Give a mutualist critique if you can.
Continue the video.
All right.
Have been co-opted by the left. Almost as soon as this caught on, socialists began mounting a major attempt to co-opt the word libertarian, once again assimilating and neutralizing any small government, free market, private property-based political label. A key player in this subversion is Noam Chomsky, a man who pushes hard left propaganda so egregious and extensive that there's a detailed website dedicated to exposing him under the title The Chomsky Hoax.
Pause it.
And others.
I've been to that website. It's terrible.
Do we want to visit the ChomskyHoax.com?
If you want to, you can, but it's right-wing trash. That's all I can really call it. So.
Okay, I guess.
How about this? How about we link it in the description?
Okay, we
Yeah,
always
let's
say
check
we're
it
gonna
out
do that.
afterwards.
I don't know if we ever do though.
All right. Back to the video.
Wait, real quick though, but there's probably websites dedicated to debunking a lot of people. I don't necessarily see.
I bet you if you
point.
Google Murray Rothbard hoax, it'll pop up.
I
And it'll probably just be a bunch of people calling him a Jew.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Also, I guess calling Chomsky. Did he say a hardcore left? Is that the term he used? I don't know about that one either.
He's kind of a liberal now, so
Yeah.
Sorry to people who are fans of Noam Chomsky, but he's really gone really liberal lately.
And I don't hate Noam Chomsky at all. I think
I think he's cool. He's smart. He's intelligent. It's just he seems to be more liberal than he used to be. I don't know if that's dementia setting in or.
Well, he is wearing a corduroy suit.
But I don't know. Maybe this is just. I don't know, but Noam Chomsky has gone really liberal lately. Anyway, play the video.
That the term libertarian originated with its vague use by socialists in the 19th century, even though the term was coined the century before, as already explained. It's argued that 19th century leftists such as Pierre-Joseph Proudhon and Peter Kropotkin are the forefathers of libertarian thought. At best, these men were left-wing anarchists.
Okay.
That's
The issue here is that he's attempting to critique politics and economics from a strictly philosophical standpoint.
yeah, and he's fucking wrong. Like, oh my god, that was so bad.
Adam, go ahead. You explain.
Okay. Oh fuck you, sir. Well, anarchist thought, from what I've studied, started with in the late 18th century with William Godwin, and then Pierre Joseph Proudhon proclaimed himself an anarchist. And when socialists use the word libertarian to describe themselves, they're typically anarchists. So, oh my god, he's so. Cole, you want to pick that up? He's pissing.
Oh wait, real quick. William Godwin was Mary Shelley's father, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's a cool fact.
That's one of the reasons I know of him as one of the very first anarchists is because of reading Frankenstein. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of an aside, but go on.
Yeah, a lot of the issues that he's bringing up here is stemming from non-political figures, Enlightenment thinkers, utilizing the term, as he described earlier, to, what was it, separate themselves from the determinist movement. And the whole issue is that he doesn't understand that there's a differentiation between the Enlightenment thinker utilization of the word libertarian and the political usage of the word libertarian, which always generally, besides libcaps, which are just conservatives in sheep's clothing, is generally an anarchist. Most libertarian socialists are
either anarchists or fucking Marxists who are extremely close to anarchism, like autonomism, and I don't know if it's even a fucking Luxemburgism or whatever the fuck. Basically, left communism.
The infantile disease. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, those are what and most libertarian socialists who aren't anarchists just call them, they don't really call themselves libertarian socialists unless they want to associate with anarchists. They usually just call them what they are. But
yeah.
They call themselves autonomous Marxists and things like that. So.
What about the video title itself?
Libertarian socialism is a leftist lie?
Yeah, like, I don't get the lie part. Like, we're purposefully deceiving, I guess libertarian socialists are purposefully deceiving people?
I guess so.
Alright. Like, they know that they're not libertarians?
I think it's a clickbait title, basically.
Yeah, I guess. It's just kind of funny to me.
Yeah, another thing, like we're openly deceiving people, like we're all Jews, trying to, we know there's a conspiracy, but we're just trying to ruin everything for everyone.
Like, we hate having our lies exposed, like it said in the...
like, darn.
Alright.
Go on.
Back at it again.
Awesome.
Minor variations on the same themes. Essentially, they argued for what Karl Marx would later claim to be the full realization of communism, where the state would be abolished and all means of production, as well as property, would be communally owned. So in spite of attempts to muddy definitions through language, left libertarian thoughts, not to mention left anarchist thought, are all simply variations of Karl Marx's theory of communal ownership in a stateless society.
Wait.
Holy fucking shit.
At first, Karl Marx wasn't the first one to come up with this idea, and I don't think you fully understand what socialists mean by using property, because I've been studying property relations like fucking crazy lately. and I'm currently studying Lacanian property and things like that. The whole fucking Revisa or whatever.
I hate to get quote heavy here, but I'll do it again because Karl Marx used a lot of things to describe communism, and as of recently, the German ideology has, pretty much described it best. And if I may open up a
Yeah.
quote, I should know it off by heart by now, for Christ's sake. But
But yeah, he's just so fucking wrong. And what was that last thing he said that really pissed me off? And now I forgot what it was.
Dude, I can go back. It's okay.
Yeah, please do.
I fucking love this guy.
I love me too.
Beyond. So in spite of attempts to muddy definitions through language, left libertarian thought, not to mention left anarchist thought, are all simply variations of Karl Marx's theory of communal ownership in a society. In fact, many people theorized about such a system in the 19th century, but it was...
So, I actually, for the short-lived moment that I was in college, I actually wrote a paper when I was a Marxist on Marxist thought. And besides the fact that now as a mutualist, there are many stateless society thinkers, Pierre Joseph Proudhon and Godwin being two of them, there were a multitude of thinkers that basically had entertained the idea of Marxism, communism, socialism, those things predating Marx, and there were many people that actually Marx's ideas stemmed from. I can't remember half of their names, but
Fourier.
Jesus Christ.
There's one more big one. Oh, and Saint Simon.
Yes.
All the utopian socialists.
Saint Simon was a big one that I actually wrote about.
Going. And,
Here, I have that definition of communism from the German ideology. Because he kind of defined communism as a stateless, classless, post-monetary society. But in the German ideology, Marx gives us the definition saying, communism is not for us a state of affairs which is to be established, an ideal to which reality will have to adjust itself. We call communism the real movement which abolishes the present state of things. The conditions of this movement result from the premises now in existence. And then I went on to later write, some would like to believe communism is a stateless, classless, post-monetary society where the means of production are held in common. But communism certainly implies these things. They do not define a movement, and to define a movement by what it implies is to mischaracterize that movement. So statelessness, classlessness, and post-monetarism are all implied in the class struggle, but communism is not like statelessness, it's not classlessness, it's not post-monetarism, it's the struggle itself to achieve those things.
I also hate the fact that he continually likens everything to Marxism or Marx's ideal communism, especially seeing that, was it Engels himself that said socialism and communism are not goals, it's the basically the dialectical pathway that humanity is on towards this.
Yeah, but not in some historical determinism sense. Like they were against historical determinism. They didn't believe that communism was inevitable, but
yeah.
But I know what you mean. So yes.
I'm terrible at explaining it because it's not me. But I hate that he continually keeps likening these ideas to Marxist communism, especially seeing that he talked about people like Kropotkin, and he name dropped two people, Kropotkin and Proudhon. Same difference.
No mention of Bakunin, surprisingly.
And Bakunin and Marx were always feuded. So.
They hated each other.
Well, Kropotkin never agreed with Marx either, and neither did
I don't think they realized Kropotkin died really late. He wasn't He wasn't that early of an anarchist. So
Exactly. Like
he
Kropotkin was
wasn't a
around when
founding
Lenin
father.
was.
I mean, they already had anarcho-communists. Kropotkin just happened to be one who gave a lot of writing to it. So
And then
wasn't the only.
Proudhon completely differentiated vastly from Marx.
Yeah, that's like Proudhon and Marx were friends, and Proudhon inspired Marx in some ways. Marx inspired Proudhon in some ways, but there
Well,
wasn't.
I thought that Proudhon was a lot earlier. Not a lot earlier, I should say.
I mean, not he was older than Marx, but This is when Marx was first becoming like on his road to like.
Okay.
But they feuded, and that's why we have the poverty of philosophy.
Because the Proudhon's original work was the philosophy of poverty, right?
Yeah, I actually have it right here. Let me.
Cool.
Uh,
So we're 35 minutes in, just to let everyone know.
yeah. Oh,
We can
even in
just
my
stop
book,
this now, or just continue.
the system of economic contradictions, or the philosophy of poverty. So yeah,
Is there anything else in the video that really?
I will just continue. I just rather get through this.
We should just watch it because this guy is hilarious.
That would become the most popular. As though the historical revisionism isn't
Oh.
bad enough,
Oh
the
God,
various
guys!
theories of left libertarianism suffer with
I'm surprised
the
it's not
same
Comic Sans.
as communism. Like Marxists, left libertarians argue that no individual is allowed to own property or trade. Rather,
Oh no, you're wrong. Shut the fuck up. You're so wrong. That's not what socialists say at all. Oh my,
Jesus
he's so
Christ!
fucking wrong. Like, I don't think he even makes an attempt to understand socialism, but yet he acts like he's intellectually superior.
So there's no point in these next like 3 or so minutes where he mentions the difference
I-
between personal and private.
I just, like, I don't think there is, but I just, in case he ever watches this, I just wanted to make it clear that we didn't misinterpret what he was saying. We didn't take things out of context. So.
Come
I
on,
mean-
Adam. He already's onto our lies. We totally took it out of context. And
Yeah, he's just gonna say we did anyway. So. But
I mean,
these next minutes are gold.
do we have to do this?
Yes.
All right.
all property is communally owned, and people can only borrow property. Since this theory directly violates the freedom of the individual to create value and trade freely,
Hold on, pause it for a second. He's saying like borrowed property, like there's already a person who owns it. That's different with communal property and occupancy and use. You're not really borrowing it.
also, like, I mean, this idea of individual property rights is
Look,
not
he ain't
some like
property
trans-historic thing that's been around forever, and it's bound to it'll bound to be
He
gone in the future.
critiqued Roman property rights before he critiqued more capitalist ones. So he's continuing with it. He's fucking wrong in everything.
by arguing that property fits into two categories, personal and private. Private property is
Okay, there we
never
go.
You can have personal property, which is property you can use but never own. The only way for such a system to exist is to coerce anyone that doesn't want to take part. It's for this reason that any form of communism, whether you call it left libertarianism or something else, inevitably becomes totalitarian. It gets worse once we consider that the people aiming to create such a society seek to eradicate all private property and murder anyone that stands in their way. Leftists try to get around the problems that this system creates in practice by using nebulous theories that define their all-powerful centralized system as stateless. Of course, this isn't stateless in any sense of the word, since any authority that has such absolute power over the individual is the worst kind of authoritarian statism imaginable. Human beings either need to be coerced before they succumb to such a system, or they need to be brainwashed. This is why leftists always end up advocating a theory of a new man or new human being who will embrace a utopia that could never be accepted by ordinary, fallible, rational human beings. Individuals are obviously miserable when they're treated as slaves, and without the right to own property, this is what humans become. Only through the envy of success can leftist ideology succeed, as people police one another because they can't stand to see others do better than them. It doesn't matter whether you call this left libertarianism or some other weasel word. The end result is the same. People that use ideology to justify murder and theft. This is Rocking Mystery, over and out.
I didn't think they could get worse.
Say it again.
So I didn't think that video could get worse.
Thank you, Iranian John Travolta, for that enlightening video.
So what are we going to say about that last part there? There's a lot to say.
I honestly don't think there's anything we have to say besides wrong. Just
But just for like, why
He
not?
just doesn't understand it. He really just doesn't understand socialism.
he has no concept of what fucking socialism is. And he has no concept of the varying styles of socialism or anything like that.
He's just wrong.
I guess for like someone like me, or I've said in the past, where like I don't have to worry about people saying, "Well, you're not a libertarian socialist," and I'll just say, "Yeah, you're right, I'm not." If they want to call me an authoritarian, then so be it, and I'll accept the label.
Yeah.
And that entire critique is then meaningless to me.
So I don't think we have time for another video. We can discuss a few other things, but I think we should stick with this next week, as it was just glorious.
Well, we can. Well, how far in are we?
Oh, the video's over. There's
42 minutes into the podcast.
We can watch political ad campaigns and like laugh at them.
I feel like we'd be better off just talking about the candidates themselves.
Both.
Wait, real quick.
But for next week, I think there's two great videos that are in the feed right next to it. It's one from Stefan Molyneux that's literally titled "What's Wrong with Socialism," and then we have the second one from Mr. E. Guys, this is important.
Okay.
The guy that doesn't understand socialism is going to tell us who are the true socialists. Y'all ready for that?
Yeah.
I'm ready. Go. You wanted to say something though?
That guy's whole channel is amazing. I've watched most of it and wanted to shoot myself, but it's great. It's a good way to spend your afternoons.
Just
Watching Iranian John Travolta?
Yes.
You're a masochist,
fantastic.
right, Goat?
Mildly.
So we're going to set it up in the comments for anyone who watched, and we're going to let you guys decide which video to watch next week. The choices are going to be between Who Are the True Socialists by The Rock and Mr. E, or What's Wrong with Socialism by Stefan Molyneux. Or as some like to say Stefan Molyneux.
I also liked how he said "over and out," like this was an important transmission.
Another thing, he's a shitty guitar player.
Whoa.
Yes, like he thinks he's good, but he's not.
The best part, the first comment that I scroll down to is "Your mustache is uneven." And his comment response was, "I'll get my protractor out when I next shave."
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, that was good. All right.
I still think we should try
Someone
to get him on the
actually tried
podcast.
to debate the fact that libertarian socialism was the origin of libertarianism, and there's 65 replies.
I don't. There's just. It just seems to be lacking in all areas now, and it's not just him. It's just nuance in general. Just just almost anyone.
Yeah.
It's always this really one-sided view of things where
Yeah, and it's really annoying that
there's
he
not
keeps
even
doing it.
the
Like,
possibility of you being wrong, and I would hate to be in that type of state of mind where I couldn't accept that I'm wrong, because every single day that I question what I think I know.
same.
We could end it here, or we could
Yeah, I mean,
keep
do
it
you guys
going. I mean, we're at like
want to
45 minutes. That's not bad.
do you guys want to
I
talk
was thinking we
Bernie
could
Sanders?
do a little bit of current events discussion,
I'm okay with that.
just to lead things out. Lately, I think a good discussion would be all this shit going on between the candidates, especially all the protests recently
Trump.
at Trump rallies.
I
And
think they're beautiful. Like,
Here's what my whole thing here is that at all new? These
it's
I swear
not,
to God.
but
I mean, protests happened, but they weren't to like this extent. I don't think.
All right.
my
Yeah, that's
issue
fair.
with it is, though, is that honestly, most of the protesters, a lot of the ones that go out, don't actually know why they're doing it. And
They just don't like what he says. I mean, but other
yeah, and they're doing it for the exact same reason that Trump supporters are going to Trump rallies. It's a system. Currently, it's a system of breeding more hate. Trump breeds hate in his speeches.
Trump entering the race
entirely.
has literally brought every other candidate down to his level, even though they were already pretty low on the ladder, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, like I noticed that ever since like Trump has been getting more popular, I noticed like a lot of candidates are trying to do like some of the same stuff that he's saying, and like I don't know, like trying to do what he does to get more attention. I don't know, that just might have just been me, but
No, I get what you mean.
yeah. So Trump's kind of an asshole. So
Um,
And
And the
apparently
issue
people like it, so
also, the log cabin Republicans, they don't like Trump because he's inconsistent about his stance on gay marriage because, you know.
like a lot of establishment Republicans don't like him a lot. You know, they think he's soft on Iran, I believe, which is kind of funny.
Not because
How hard do you have to be
fucking
on
crazy. Like
I saw a meme earlier. Actually, it was Donald Trump saying ban all Muslims from our country, and it was a bunch of people sitting around a table saying, "Oh my God, you're so radical." And then it was Ted Cruz saying, "Nuke all Muslims before they get here." And they're like, "Oh my God, yes, yes, clap." And
so he didn't have to be like
the fucked up part to me is that there are people that honestly believe, and I've heard people say it before, just glass the Middle East.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just fucking absurd.
Okay, am I the only one who thinks
They're
that Cruz is
advocating
worse than
fucking genocide.
that
They know
Cruz is
that,
worse than
right?
Trump?
You think Cruz is worse than Trump?
Yeah.
Why do you say that? I mean, he is the Zodiac killer, but whatever, man.
Like, I've noticed that Cruz is more of a religious fanatic than Trump is.
Yeah,
One of the things about Trump is that he hasn't been as much. He hasn't, maybe I should say, acted like a fundamentalist.
Yeah.
Because his core values don't come from
religion. They come from fucking money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plain and simple, they come from money. and they
I mean, they're
come.
both atrocious, but still.
Not just money though; they also come from feeding off the American people and are rampant Islamophobia.
Oh yeah, another thing. I noticed that there's libertarians voting for Trump because I know somebody who was telling me why I should vote for Trump.
Christopher Cuckwell.
No, somebody I know in real life. They're telling me why I should vote Trump because what he said is if he's telling the truth, he could bring a lot of liberty back to America, and he's already rich. He can't be bought out and stuff like
You,
that.
you know what, guys? I actually have something else interesting that I want to bring up that was a current event, and it was let me see if I can find this too. Um,
Just people are fucking crazy.
this is an interesting one, and it's a really short video if I can find the video for it, so that works
But I
out.
just I checked something else on my phone real quick. Adam, did you mention libertarians supporting Trump?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there are. I mean, obviously, there's a lot that don't, and I completely understand that. But there are some, and I guess you could argue that they're not real libertarians, but a lot that do support Trump.
Yeah. It's kind of bad. So.
Here we go. So before I actually share the video itself, I want you guys to hear. This is directly from Rand Paul's Facebook page. At least I think it's the actual page. I don't know if it's some fanboy that made some Rand Paul page. If it is, I'm sorry. But it looks like the actual page. I think this brazen comment, this casual disregard for hardworking Kentucky coal miners, for them losing their jobs because of Hillary Clinton's policies, I think she should apologize. She should apologize to every Kentucky worker that has lost their job in recent times because of her policies. Let me see if I can get the video to pop up here. Because I think this is an important one here.
I just saw it a second ago.
What?
I saw the video. It looked like it was about to play.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it though.
Yeah, not anymore.
It's all glitchy. You just
Did
want
Cold lag out?
I think so.
Okay.
So do you just want to end it here?
Yeah, I think so. Sadly, we can definitely play that video next week. We want to get to it.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, Adam, you want to do the outro? Or you want me to do it?
I mean, peace out, bros.
Wait. What was his outro?
I don't know.
I can't remember it. That's sad. All right.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Later.